What's up, traders? How we doing today? Hope everybody had a good week. It's Saturday morning, and today I want to talk about Forex strategy. I've been working towards automating some of my strategies, and I have my next version of the automation. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the automated strategy, and we can just kind of talk about what that next step is. All of this is a very large process. It's much larger than I had ever intended, but I'm getting there slowly, and it's starting to look really good. So let's go ahead and take a look. So if I come in here to strategies, we'll apply this FX Strat, and here's what's pretty cool about this. I've got this set up to where you can choose which type you want to trade. You can choose, this is part of the rule parameters inside of the strategy, and I set it as an input, so you could choose whether you want to use this or not. Again, this comes back to you have to test your strategy before you take it and trade it. So once you test it, and then you can determine whether you want to use this or not. Okay, and then here's a couple other really cool things in here. Ignore all this stuff. Okay, so for my ATR, I always use a 7 period. And so what this is going to do is going to look at the last 7 bars. And it's going to take a range, which is what ATR is. It's average true range. It's going to take a range of the prior 7 bars, and then it's going to give you a volatility measure based on that high to low range. And that's what's going to be used as the stop and the target. So I use a 1 ATR for my stop, and then I use a 5 ATR for my target on this particular strategy. So that's why I have a 5 in here. Now here's the other really cool thing about this. This is also going to be your risk management tool. So you put in here what your account size is, and then you put in here what percent of your account do you want to risk in the trade. I prefer to do 1 to 1.5, and you put that in here. So what this is going to do in real time, it's going to look at the ATR, calculate your stop based on the ATR, look at your account balance that you put in here, and then it's going to say, okay, well, based on the volatility in the market, here's how much you are willing to risk, so here's how many contracts you can trade. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so moving down here, there's nothing else really to do here other than let's just go ahead and enable, and bear with me here, guys, it's going to be messy. Okay, like I said, it's going to be messy. But the reason it's messy is because it's taking higher time frames, putting them all onto this chart, and it's also taking the trading time frame and putting it on this chart. But here's the neat thing about this. You already know where your trades are. So the way this works is, let's look at this for example right here. You would have been alerted by email up in this area that you have a potential trade. Okay, so once you get that email, in this particular case, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 hours to pull up your chart because these are hourly bars. If this is a trade that you want to take, then all you do is you come up here and you hit this up arrow right here. See how it turns green? What that will do is it will trade this for you if it triggers. So it's going to follow these bars, and every time there's a new closing bar, it's going to use that closing bar's ATR for your stop and target. Okay? Now in this case, one thing that my testing shows me is if price rejects meaning it moves into one of these zones before my entry, the odds of it working out are much lower. Okay? So you can see this bar right here rejects, and then you get your entry. So maybe you don't want to take this trade, okay? Because you can see right here it rejects. So you just keep it on off. And then you would get alerted because you have a potential trade here in this blue zone. It's called a zone in zone, where I have a 60-minute zone inside of this cyan colored higher time frame zone. Okay, now in this case, this one also rejects prior to entry, right? But this one does hit target. So again, you just need to do your testing. So if we come in here and we look at the performance of what's on this chart, it looks pretty good, right? Profit factor is massive. Your Sharpe ratio is not too far from 1, which is incredible. And you got a nice little profit. And this is from February 28th till current. So I'm really excited about this. And again, this is taking every trade, okay? Because all this is doing right now is just saying, okay, if there's a trade, it's going to show it. But then that's where the manual piece comes in. You're going to know from your testing whether it's a trade that you want to take. All right, gang, that's it for this video. Stay tuned for the next one.